Steak Frites is more than just a dish, it's a national institution. This isn't about fancy, intricate cooking, it's about honoring the quality of a few simple ingredients, a great piece of steak, perfectly crispy fries, and a delicious peppercorn cream sauce to tie it all together. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Belgian classic at home. Of course, a steak frite isn't complete without the fries. I'm going to make pomme allumette, matchstick fries. They're a bit thinner than regular Belgian fries. First, I peel my potatoes. For matchstick fries, I'm using a mandolin which has a 6mm or a 1/4 inch setting, and I carefully slice the potatoes into thin fries. Be careful with mandolins, they are incredibly sharp, so please always use a finger guard. All Belgian fries use a 2-stage frying process for getting them perfectly crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside. I set my deep fryer filled with beef tallow to 140°C or 285°F and add the fries and let them cook until they are tender all the way through. I will give them their second and final fry right before I serve the dish. If you want to learn more about making the perfect Belgian fries, you can find a link to that video in the description below. For the peppercorn cream sauce, I like to have everything prepared ahead of time so I don't have to rush at the end when it's time to serve. While you can certainly make the sauce in the same pan you cook the steak in, I prefer to make it beforehand. That way all I have to do is warm the sauce just before plating. I use a jar of green peppercorns. I start by draining and rinsing them under cold running water. In a saucepan I melt some butter until it's lightly browned. Then I add the peppercorns and deglaze the pan with a splash of cognac. You can forbid this for a little show, but always be sure to do so safely. Otherwise, just let the alcohol cook off. Next, I add a frozen puck of my homemade demi-glace. If you want to learn how to make your own demi-glace, be sure to subscribe. I will be making a video on it soon. A good quality beef stock also works perfectly as a substitute. Last, I pour in some cream and let the sauce gently simmer and reduce until it reaches the desired thickness, stirring occasionally. Traditionally, steak frite is often served with a simple salad to balance the richness of the meat and the fries. But today, I have a few beautiful bunches of cherry tomatoes and I know they will be a perfect companion to this meal. To prepare them, I place the tomatoes on a baking sheet, drizzle them with a little olive oil and season them generously with salt and black pepper. I pop them in a preheated oven at 220°C or 425°F for 10 to 15 minutes or until they're soft and lightly blistered. While our tomatoes are in the oven, it's the perfect time to start on the main event, our steak. Today I'm using a beautiful onglet, also known as a hanger steak. This cut isn't the most common, but it has an incredibly rich, beefy flavor and a wonderful loose texture. My steaks have been resting out of the fridge for about 20 minutes, allowing them to come to room temperature. This is a crucial step for even cooking. I will season my steaks generously on both sides with salt and black pepper. I have my stainless steel pan and get it hot over a medium-high heat. Stainless steel is great for getting the beautiful crust because it doesn't have a non-stick coating. I add a high smoke point oil and start searing the steaks. After 30 seconds I flip the steak, and after 30 more seconds I turn down the heat and add a generous knob of butter. The butter will lower the pan's temperature and add beautiful richness and flavor to the steak. Watch out to not burn the butter. I turn the steak often to ensure an even cook, browning all sides and basting the steak in the brown butter. I like my steak saignant or medium rare. You often hear chefs say you should test for doneness by touch. But unless you cook steaks every day, it can be hard to tell for sure. I prefer a reliable method that guarantees a perfect result every time. A meat thermometer. They're inexpensive and take all the guesswork out of it. My target temperature is 48°C or about 120°F. The steak will continue to cook as it rests, bringing it up to a perfect 51°C or a 125°F. While our steak is resting, it's the perfect time to give our fries their final fry. I have my beef tallow heated to 180°C or 355°F. I add the fries and cook them for just a few minutes until they are beautifully golden brown and perfectly crispy. Our steak, fries and sauce are all done. Time to serve. First, I slice the rested hanger steak against the grain. I place the slices on a warm plate to keep everything nice and hot, making sure it looks good on the plate. Next, I drape that beautiful, rich peppercorn sauce generously over the steak. I add a large pile of the crispy fries and place the roasted tomatoes alongside. Of course, we can't forget a crucial part of the Belgian experience, a good beer. I pour a cold Pilsner to enjoy alongside this meal. There's nothing better than pairing the perfect steak frites with a crisp, refreshing pint. And there you have it, a true taste of Belgium. A simple, elegant and absolutely delicious meal. Enjoy.